And overall, what the CTBA ends up arguing is that our Illinois policymakers, the representatives in the House, the senators, the governor, policymakers at large, have really not attended to this structural deficit. And so, in essence, we continue to have a significant mismatch between revenues coming in and what we need to spend our money on. Our state policymakers continue to look for gimmicks such as one-time revenue sources like borrowing money, sweeping funds, and the like. So in essence, you have a situation where you have a number of irresponsible and impractical fiscal practices. Now, pulling it all together and considering some of the thoughts of these three organizations, what we see is that really, regardless of the organization you consult for your information base, they all identify fundamental problems and issues. Now, from my perspective, the basic dilemma is how do we reverse this pattern of revenue imbalance relative to expenditure needs? One of the solutions that's been put on the table has been an across-the-board spending cut. But really, an across-the-board spending cut is just nothing more than a simplistic solution. We have state government departments and agencies that provide services that are critical to running a quality state. And those services and activities involve everything from promoting economic development to providing K through 12 education and funding higher education. And then, which ones would you cut? And how far would you go back in paring the budget anyway? And one way of illustrating this is the observations of Mike Lawrence, who is a well-known political analyst in the state of Illinois, and he's former director of the Simon Public Policy Institute, affiliated with Southern Illinois University at Carbondale. He was on Eastern a little bit over a year ago as part of the Edgar Speaker series. And that was one of his foundational points, is that Illinois could go in and cut whole departments from the budget and really still only make a small dent in dealing with our fiscal imbalance. And obviously, we're not going to go and cut whole departments from the budget. Now, in the interests of responsible and accountable government, we certainly do have to evaluate the rationality and effectiveness of our taxpayer dollars, and we should expect that a viable political solution is going to involve being receptive to this approach. And my sense is that there certainly is a consensus out there that we do need to look at things with respect to how we can best use our taxpayer dollars. Having said that, though, if Illinois is going to succeed in an increasingly competitive and national and globalized economy, we have to have good public infrastructure. And good public infrastructure means spending by government. And this good public infrastructure involves not only roads, bridges, water systems, and even high-speed rail, my little plug for high-speed rail, but also quality social services and education, because they're also part of our public infrastructure. So the question is, where does this leave us? In the short term, an income tax increase, as many over the years have called for, even well before Governor Quinn's proposal, certainly is something that should be on the table. We can only spend if we have the revenue base to support it. Now, I know certainly that there's some controversy surrounding that. I know certainly it's a big political football, to say the least. But if anyone thinks our income tax system in Illinois cannot accommodate an increase, all you have to do is just visit the website and view the data of the Tax Foundation. And the Tax Foundation also includes data on tax burdens across the 50 states. And the tax burden is also a well-known conservative organization. And clearly, when you take a look at that, you could easily see that Illinois could easily accommodate an income tax increase. But beyond just a flat out income tax increase, what we really need, from my vantage point, is bolder change. Really isn't necessary. And that bolder change, from my view, should involve changing the state constitution to allow for a graduated income tax system. In essence, moving toward a progressive income tax system, and we could have a progressive income tax system that would not increase in any way the taxes of the working class and middle class in the state, and would be able to kind of tap into the wealth base that is very concentrated in certain parts of the state, including the Chicago metropolitan region. And we'd be able to address our revenue problems, and I think that would be a good, healthy solution. Obviously, politically, it's very difficult to achieve, but I think the time has come for us to be giving it serious thought. Thank you.